Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5 card spread for today? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are Five of Cups in its reversal, in combination with our Knight of Swords in its upright. Speaking about bee in the bonnet type of energy. I'm going to say this again right now, my friends. Jupiter and Pluto are the only planets that are currently not in retrograde. Venus, correction. Venus and Pluto are the only planets that are currently not in retrograde. And that can create the intensification right now of this retrograde season. It keeps on getting more intense. And now, it's interesting because I know that, we always talk about the Mercury retrogrades. Like the Mercury retrogrades are the bane of our existence. I'm not worried. I'm not worried so much about a Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. A Mercury in retrograde in Sagittarius can often talk to us about putting a little bit of caution against the wind, right? It can talk about it, like it talks about shoring up things. It's actually like sometimes, like I almost like sometimes think that a Mercury retrograde in Sag is helpful to us because it's like it creates a little bit of look before you leap kind of energy. I'm much more concerned right now with Jupiter retrograding in Cancer. And the reason I'm more concerned with Jupiter retrograding in Cancer is Jupiter retrograding in Cancer. Jupiter often deals with the concept or the perception of the self, right? And Cancer can often bring up a lot of feelings about that. We're also seeing the fact of the space by which we understand and recognize how much we change. But sometimes I keep on hearing, like, even in this face of change, some feelings don't change, right? And that ability of doing so, this is often what Jupiter retrograding in Cancer can bring up. It's the frustration on the things that we often feel we have to carry forward, right? It's like the burden, it's like the energetic burden of the past that sometimes feels like, and I keep on getting, it's like Jupiter in Cancer in retrograde is like it hurts so good kind of energy. It can create a tendency to recognize how good it sometimes feels to be able to wallow in something or to feel like the full weight of the emotions about it. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it can create gravitas for situations, right? The ability that as long as we're in the modality by which we honor how we feel, right? And that's why I'm going to keep on saying this. And that's why we talk about the fact that not all feelings are equal, right? Because this type of energy, it's really, really, really important to discern the difference between the feeling that feels like it reaffirms. I keep on hearing reaffirms or relearns, reaffirms or relearns. Now, what is the difference between a feeling that reaffirms versus a feeling that we're working to relearn? When we energetically articulate upon why something bothers us, right? The ability to find words for it, the ability to identify and articulate the meaning upon it. That's what I mean about and I keep on getting, there's a heaviness in this type of energy. But the heaviness can bring gravitas to things because it's the speaking upon the weight of something that is energetically important. But the way that we fortify upon something that gives us meaning, something that is important that we're able to articulate and define upon, is the ability to speak upon it. But that's why we often see, like, what happens when we're not doing the healthy egoic work is we often find ourselves harboring on things. And when we're harboring things, it's like we don't want to talk about them, but it energetically bothers us. And it creates these modalities or these feelings of isolation and stagnation. This type of energy can also bring that out a lot. We've also gotten the fact that Uranus has moved back into Taurus. Now, Uranus moving back into Taurus can often create frustration in relationality to the speed by which things are happening. I'm going to say this again for anybody that is feeling this, and I want you to listen to me. You're never late for your own journey. And if you wince when I say that, I'm going to say that twice. You're exactly where you need to be. And the ability to kind of effectively articulate and communicate upon that, I keep on seeing there is something here that feels very freeing. But I keep on getting, and we're going to start talking about how this is impacting the different relationship cycles. I keep on getting, it is the identification point in being able to articulate freely upon something that creates, I keep on seeing like the ability, and I feel like there's something really beautiful about that, particularly as it relates to these new relationships that are coming together. Because I keep on getting that these moon relationships are slow to form, but they're very unfiltered. There's a lot of openness there in relationality to what it is they're working upon. Now, I was about to draw the center card for today's spread, but they're stuck to the table. There's two of them, and they're both transverse. So I'm going to draw these both up here. I'll just show you. This is the way that they landed on the table. Yeah, we've got the the Eight of Wands in its transverse with, oh my goodness, with the Eight of Pentacles that is also in its transverse. So we've got double 8 energy here, center of the spread in its transverse. Oh, how am I going to describe this? How am I going to explain this? Okay, let me walk you through. Like, this is, I'm going to walk you through how this is impacting the frequencies. Now, for those moon relationships that we spoke upon, and again, for the purposes of our readings, moon relationships are relationships that have been coming together between the time of Uranus stationing retrograde prior to the eclipse cycle that we recently had up until the present. I keep on hearing there's equal distribution of accountability happening in relationality to past experience. And what I keep on getting with the equal distribution that is necessary in order to calibrate for past experience, and this is why I keep on getting that these relationships are treading gently towards one another, is what I keep on seeing. Is that the energy, there's something really beautiful. There's a lot of humility. There's a lot of humility that's coming into these relationships. And I need to stress this. Humility is often misconceived today. Humility does not mean the ability of not thinking highly of oneself. Humility is the recognition of understanding that there's always something for one to learn. Right? That is the definition of humility, right? It's the observation of a path of learning that one is willing to understand, right? Or willing to effectively take upon the self. And that's why I keep on seeing that when I keep on reading into these new relationships, there's a little bit of this glacier energy here. And why do I keep on describing it as glacier? Because they're coming towards each other and then they're pulling back. They're doing something that they haven't done before, but then they're also like kind of checking themselves to a certain extent, right? And I keep on seeing like that is the humility that is effectively coming into these relationships. Because it's almost like the energy, I told you, that especially if they're working into the space of being more unfiltered, right? Having gone through the pathwork of understanding that when we dilute ourselves, we enter into delusional partnerships. I just keep on seeing the energy. I feel like there's this point by which they're articulating and they're opening up more. And then they're almost pulling back and saying, have I gone too far? right? Because it's like I told you, like that is the humility that is coming into these relationships. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that feeling out. But I keep on hearing that the feeling out is in the best way possible, because the feeling out is them is finding their confidence in being able to do something that they haven't done before, or in a way that they haven't done it. And so I keep on seeing that there's something, it's like it's clumsy energy, but it's clumsy in the best way possible, is what I keep on seeing. Now, for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, and these for our purposes are those temperance relationships. So the relationships that were coming together between the time of Uranus going retrograde up until the solstice period this summer. Two cards coming out here. Ace of Swords in its reversal. Wow. And the Four of Pentacles in its upright. Now, if you have an opportunity to, after this reading, I would strongly encourage that you make sure that you head over to the stack to see today's spread, because it is fascinating. In relationality, it's there's interestingly a lot of Libra energy I'm picking up on in this reading. I have to do some investigating on that. But the thing I keep on seeing, because we've got I got to point this out, and this is important here. We've got a bit of a point counterpoint, which is with the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Swords in its reversal coming out on either sides of this 8 energy. And a lot of that, like this is the amplification of what I mentioned in relationality to these temperance partnerships that are working on building sanctuary. I keep on getting this. The temperance relationships are working on building sanctuary. And the reason that they're working on building sanctuary is they're sanctifying the partnership. And it's not easy, because I got to tell you, the energy that's doing this right now deserves a massive amount of credit, because it's not just the fact that they're working through resolving something from the past that has been opened up about the counterpart that feels like it energetically triggers them. But I keep on getting, it's the trigger that rests upon their own trauma trigger. It's like, I keep on hearing, it's the double whammy of experiencing something and having profound empathy for it, because it feels reflective of something that they themselves experienced. It would be so indulgent to go back to the past and do something about it, but they're choosing not to, because they're working through a Neptune lesson, and they understand that if this is counterpart that has worked to heal and resolve from something, then the only good that it would do to bring something back to the present would be to make, like I keep hearing, would be it would be egoically indulgent for an individual, because it would feel indulgent of a past version of self that they're working to heal. But instead, I see like they're doing the hard work of just channeling that into the present, right? Like it's the I'm sorry that ever happened to you, and their assurance and their ability to make sure that it never will again is being focused upon the fact that they're not doing that work in reviving something from the past. But I keep on seeing building the foundations for a better tomorrow in the wake of that trigger. So I just keep on seeing that there's something that feels really, really energetically supportive there, but it's heavy. And I keep on seeing, like, for a lot of the energy, like it's like working through, and this is what we talk about. And this is what, like, and I keep on seeing, like, this is what we talk about too, like the counterparts. I feel like they're not even articulating that much to each other about it, because I keep on hearing, like, they keep on saying, like, they don't want to dig up the past for a counterpart that they themselves are working on resolving. Like, that's how much they honor one another. That's like the weight. That is like the shape and weight of this work. Now, for the energy that is deep within divine union, and for our purposes, we always read on the energy that most recently entered into divine union. Those were the magician relationships that were coming together between the time of Mercury and Venus, between the time of the solstice up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune, Can I get one card to clarify? One card, please. Yeah, Queen of Cups in its reversal. And this is what I keep on seeing. The energy right now, deep within Divine Union, is working through, and I'm not surprised to see this. When someone is projecting, you can't heal from their misconceptions. And I keep on getting this, and this is the conversation that they're having with one another, which is the way they're utilizing this to identify if someone is projecting something onto them, right? The best way to describe or to define if someone's projecting something onto the self is through the clarifying words, what would you have me do? Right? What would you have me do? And so if the energy is literally seeing situations outside of partnership where they've never been more centered into relationship, but someone else has started acting weird, right? And this is what we mean by weirdness, right? There's clearly a characteristic change in them, but they're not articulating upon what has occurred. And this is the energy that feels like, again, they're not able to bring that forward to have a healthy conversation. I just keep on seeing that this energy is just dealing with the brunt of another person's projections, which is the space by which, and I keep on hearing like this is how we calibrate for healthy relationship. Healthy relationship is always built upon proactive conversations, the ability to speak upon something that one could be doing better or one needs to change. But when someone is too much in their own egoic journey, it doesn't allow for that. It allows for that space by which it often feels like a lot of that bizarreness. And that's why I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like they're just moving through that, they're just progressing through something in a way, and they're observing but not absorbing, right? I keep on seeing that the energy to a certain extent is like, I keep on hearing they're giving another person the gift of proximity. They're allowing for that space of healing. And I keep on seeing that they're hoping for the day that another person kind of comes out of that modality. But I keep on, and this is what we understand when we give each other, and this is the gift that we give each other when we allow for a point of patience, which is patience is not built upon preparation. It's not the energy that is trying to force someone. I keep wondering, it's not the energy that's trying to force someone outside of partnership into a maturation process, but more just recognizing whether or not they're there. So that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work. It's interesting because I almost see like the energy deep within Divine Union moving into hermit mode, but they're moving into hermit mode in the best way possible. Because it's like the hermit mode that we're effectively seeing there is the energy that is working. Like, and I keep wondering, they're not just working alone on that. There's energy surrounding them. Like, I feel like there's a lot of energy around them. It's like, it's the energy that works tirelessly on making something better, even in the face of others' projections, is what I keep on seeing. And I think that, and it's interesting, because it's funny because I keep on hearing projection is a weighted rejection. And the reason I keep on hearing projection is a weighted rejection, and it's funny because I keep on hearing weighted, which is like the space by which you see something and you understand, identify that someone doesn't understand, that they'll understand someday, is what I keep on seeing. So there's like, that's like the, like that in its, and it's interesting too, because I keep on seeing that the energy deep within Divine Union is using themselves as reference in those conversations. That's the type of, I told you, when Saturn moves back and forth across a meridian of Pisces, this is what I kept on saying about us having these like pseudo Saturn return moments. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Swords in combination with our Eight of Wands in its transverse and that Eight of Pentacles in its transverse. One card to clarify, please. Whoop, there it is. Sorry, I'm laughing for those on the podcast because like I summoned the Hermit. I was talking about the Hermit, and now here's the Hermit. And it's funny too because the Hermit does not like to come out a lot in my readings, but Um, and it's funny too, especially like the hermit with I like the hermit with the 10 of swords, because the hermit with the 10 of swords is like, it talks a lot about pathwork of purpose. It talks a lot about like neither rain nor sleet nor dead of night, which is like when you're doing something and you're focused on it, right? And again, and actually it's interesting because like I wanted to read back into the energy in separation, but like it's holding on to the energy in like the magician relationships. This is what I meant about them going through a maturation process, which is like, hate to see it, better to know it. Like that's the type of painful, like that's the type of painful work. Like that's what I mean about these energies going through that maturation process. Hate to see it, better to know it. Hate to see it, better to know it, because even in the context by which they're seeing something, it is reshaping their perception of a relationship. Right? Like that's what I keep on seeing I keep on hearing it's unsealing it's unsealing a history on something, right? Like that's the thing about it that feels like it's so heavy. Now, for the energy in separation going through this work, the thing that I keep on seeing, and I feel like this is what I meant about there being like a little bit of pathwork of humility that's happening right now for these moon relationships. And I keep on getting, we have to heal from our misconception that humility means embarrassing. That's not correct. That's a misconception on what we think humility is. Humility is the recognition of pathwork by which we understand and identify that there is always something more to learn. It is the context by which we face the world as a patient student. And what's interesting about the relationships that are coming together right now, these moon relationships, is they're identifying to each other what that work is. They're talking to each other about their lack of perfection, right? This is what I'm working on, right? This is the energy that's trying to shine a light on their vulnerabilities or on their weaknesses, right? Because that's what I keep on seeing, that this is the energy that understands that when we shine a light on our vulnerabilities, they become our source of strength. So this is the energy that's almost trying to articulate, and they're even in the context of doing something that they haven't before. They're actually saying to one another, if I keep on hearing I keep on hearing like them saying to each other, it's like, they're going where they've never gone before, but then they're almost like apologizing if they've energetically overstepped. Is what I keep on getting. Like it's giving me a little bit of this, like it's giving me a little bit. I told you they're either reaffirming or relearning right now. That's why I kept on saying reaffirming or relearning, which is them saying like, am I correct in this? Right? They're checking each other, I keep on seeing but I keep on hearing they're acting as points. They're acting as points of understanding to one another in such a way that they're trying to do something in a better fashion. So there's something really beautiful about it, but there's something very gentle. There's a very high level of care or conscientiousness that I see is being navigated in these relationships. It's tender, right? But I keep on hearing it's tender in the best way possible. Now, for these temperance relationships, and I'm not surprised to see this, because this is what happens. This is what happens when Jupiter's retrograding in Cancer. Clarification between our double transverse eights and our Ace of Swords. What do we got? Page of Pentacles. Yeah, man, these temperance relationships. I keep on hearing they want to throw a brick, so instead they're laying one down. They want to throw a brick, so instead they're laying one down. There's a lot of energy right here. I'm telling you. These temperance relationships right now, how is that channeling going, man? How is that productive channeling going? Don't test them. Don't nobody test anybody in the temperance relationships right now. Cuz I keep on hearing I keep on hearing, what is that song, Give Me a Reason? Give me a reason. I see this energy that's like working through something here, and that's what I mean about this energy that is being very, I feel like a lot of protectiveness for counterpart here. A lot of protectiveness. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, there's that Jupiter in retrograde in Cancer, which is like, you can say that to me, but don't you say anything about that to them, because I keep on hearing their benefit, not my benefit, is what I keep on seeing. And why do I keep on hearing them say their benefit, not my benefit? Because I told you, they're doing the double work. Yeah, they're doing the double work of feeling the weight and enormity of something that happened in the past to the counterpart that would be so indulgent to their own journey to do something about. But instead, I keep on hearing the energy go, but instead they're being good. Instead they're being good. But they're creating good with it. They're sanctifying partnership. And by sanctifying partnership, they are protecting the peace that the counterpart has created for the self. But but I keep on hearing, like, they're going through warrior energies, which is saying, don't mistake the kindness for weakness. Like, this is the energy when I say don't mistake the kindness for weakness, is the energy that says, this is the energy that's trying really hard to walk softly while holding a very big stick. It's I keep on getting trying very, very hard. Because it's because I see the energy that's working through that I told you, that Cancer retrograde, it would feel so good and they would feel right about it, but it would not honor the energy of the counterpart's healing journey. Could you, like, wow, just like pure, and that is stoicism right there, my friends. You want to know what stoicism is? That's stoicism. Okay. Like, that's what stoicism means. All right. Now, for those magician relationships, exactly. For those magician relationships, this is more like, I keep on getting this, like, this is just clarification between the Ace of Swords in its reversal and the Four of Pentacles. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, the thing, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier. I mean, it's frustrating for the magician relationships right now, but it's frustrating because it's ridiculous. Because I just keep on seeing, for some of these relationships right now, they know in their hearts, this is the best thing that's ever happened for them. This is literally energy that's entered into divine union. They've never felt better with counterpart connection. And there's nothing more painful than to finally be in a modality of celebration, to finally be in, like, I keep on hearing, like, they have centered into relationship that is centering them, and seeing energy outside of partnership, like becoming energetically reactive in such a way that doesn't make sense. Because I keep on hearing the lack of sense only has one. It makes a lot of, like, I keep on hearing the energy goes, the lack of sense makes a lot of sense. If that makes sense. Now, if you are not in divine union, that might not make any sense, but I'm going to say it again because I know that those that are deep within divine union know exactly what I'm talking about. The lack of sense makes a lot of sense if that makes sense, which is the space by which you see someone who isn't willing to articulate upon how they feel about something that's creating clarification on manifestation goals, but it's very upsetting to watch. I keep on seeing upsetting, painful to witness. Like, painful. I keep on seeing the energy going painful to witness because the energy within divine union understands what they're seeing. And that's why I keep on seeing the energy that is almost like, I keep on hearing they're giving something proximity because they realize that some things the only way you can heal some things is through proximity. And they hate it. I keep on seeing the energy that wishes that there was something else differently that they could do. But I keep on hearing if it can't have it, if there isn't a healthy conversation that can be had around it, then it's not their business to force one, is what I keep on hearing the energy say. If the energy, I keep on hearing, if someone can't have a healthy conversation about it, this is why you can't force a healthy conversation, is what I keep on seeing. Like it's like the energies, like this is the conversation they're having with one another deep within divine union. You can force a conversation. You can always force a conversation. But the health of that conversation usually is gone in the space by which you feel you have to force it. Right? Now, continuing to, and I wouldn't be surprised if this energy is having conversations with someone saying, would you like to talk about something? You know, the energy, like, would you like to have a conversation? Continuing to get clarification back into these moon relationships. And I just want to show you, I mean, it's very, and we're going to talk a little bit about it right now because there is, and I want you to make sure that you take a look at the spread once we're done this, because there's a lot of parity that's happening right now between masculine and feminine in different ways, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Remember when I said it feels very Libra? There's a lot of Libra energy in this reading because the spread feels very balanced. Clarification between our Queen of Cups in its reversal, our Ten of Swords, and our Hermit energy. These are those moon relationships. Yep, Knight of Wands. Yeah. You know, okay. Jeez. The reason that these relationships are coming together so carefully is because they're still recovering from another person's projections on them. When I just want to, this is the shape. This is what's stuck between these moon relationships that are coming together right now. And for those who are listening to the podcast, I'm holding up. Do you see this? I'm holding up the Knight of Swords with the Knight of Wands in its reversal. And that this here, these two cards together is the shape of what it feels like when someone's projecting on you. Which is the way you can usually tell when someone's projecting on you. The song you will sing is, I couldn't do anything right. Right? Felt like anything I did was the wrong thing to do. Right? Can't do anything right. You can't. When someone's projecting on you, that's literally the shape of another person's projections. I guess I can't do anything right. Right? Even in the space that we ourselves say that. Right? So the ability to have a productive conversation is the identification point as to whether something is productive or projecting, which is the space by which you're able to articulate about how one is able to do something. Do you see how my throat chakra started closing up? The space by which one is working on resolving the fact that we're not perfect, but we're working towards something. So that's what I meant about these relationships that are coming towards each other. I keep on hearing confident trepidation in doing something they haven't done before, which is trying to be more authentic, but then checking to see if they've overstepped, is what I keep on hearing. It's like this is a new, and I keep on hearing like there's an apology that's coming towards one another for their clumsiness. But I keep on getting, even with some of that clumsiness, there's a little bit of healing, because the space by which another person says like, oh, did I offend you? And another person says like, no, you haven't. Go on. I wish you would go on more about that. Like it's literally the space by which I keep on hearing they're finding their footing again. Right? They're feeling a better sense of themselves, or they're finding themselves again through healthy conversation. And I feel like there's something important about this energy working through that, because I just keep on hearing that something about these relationships coming together. I keep on hearing they forgot how good it can feel to have a conversation with someone that wasn't constantly demanding that they be perfect about something, is what I keep on seeing. You know, like I keep on hearing they're not like it's like they're almost telling each other, they're almost reaffirming to each other that we're not supposed to have all the answers. Our job is to make sure that we're asking the right questions, is what I keep on hearing. Now, continuing to get clarification for these temperance relationships, clarification between our 10 of Swords, our Hermit energy, and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, man, this is what I meant. We've got the 3 of Cups in its reversal with the 10 of Cups in its upright. I keep on hearing this energy saying you're never going to have to go through that again. And that's what's beautiful. That's what I meant. That is what I meant. That is the sound that they're saying to each other as they're sanctifying the relationship. And when they say it's my business that you never have to go through that again, they're including themselves. They're including themselves in that conversation. Because that's the energy that almost like I keep on feeling, like I keep on hearing the energy say it would feel so good. It would feel so indulgent. It wouldn't just feel, but I keep on hearing the word indulgent is what's stopping them. Because they realize it would feel good for them, but it might damage all of the work that another person has done to close some kind of chapter in their life. Right? Like that is what I keep on seeing. Like I keep on hearing, like they're not going to take a knife to closing a chapter, which is the space by which they say if another person has resolved something, they're not going to do something that would feel good for them, but wouldn't feel good for that person, is what I keep on seeing. Like they're like they and I feel like again it's that, but that's what I told you about them being like, I keep on hearing like, and this is, I'm not surprised because we got Mercury and Mars in Sag right now, which says even like, you know, don't mistake the kindness, like don't mistake the kindness for weakness, right? I see some energy that says like almost says about something like they're turning the other cheek for counterpart, not themselves, is what I keep on getting. I just every time I read into this energy right now, I keep on hearing the Goldfrapp song, "Give Me a Reason." But it's like keep on give me a reason. Is all I keep on hearing. Give me a reason. But that's why I keep on seeing they're seeing reason, because they're not seeing reason where reason isn't, is what I keep on seeing. Right? Like there's a little bit of that, and I feel like they're talking a lot about it. Like they're healing through talking about it. Continuing to get clarification for these magician relationships. Page of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Yeah, the Lover's card. The life-changing power of a healthy conversation. And this is what I meant. Like, can I just show you the cards right now around these magician partnerships, why this is so hard and painful? Look at this. Like, this is the energy of the magician relationships coming into the hard reality that not everybody wants to see us in energetic harmony and partnership. That's a painful reality to witness, right? It's painful. It hurts when we see that. Because I just keep on seeing I keep on hearing who wouldn't want that. You know, like we see the intensification of joy that is rampant. And I keep on seeing that this energy is fortifying in the intentionality of the love that they share. I almost see the space by which they wish they could share that love with those around them. Right? I keep on hearing it's like they want to spread the confetti of their feelings to one another, to those around them. But I keep on seeing, like, if they're trying to be in a modality by which they want to share that amplification of joy, but another person is not in their space of ruminating upon it or doesn't feel it the same way, I keep on seeing you can't force joy. You can't force joy I keep on hearing you can't force joy into others' experiences of things. And that's what I keep on seeing. Even too, this is them working through the amplification of their own maturation process and recognizing that you can't force others' feelings. But it's not easy. And I feel like even in that space, they're making, I keep on hearing they're making energetic connection. They have support here. I keep on hearing it's not entirely hermit energy. It's like a confluence of hermits. It's a confluence of hermits. It's like a bunch of energy. It's like they have other energy that gets it and says like, no, I experienced that too. Like they're finding supportive energy there with the recognition of those that understand that similitude of the journey. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Wands in its reversal and our Three of Cups in its reversal and our Ten of Cups in its upright. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. You know, it's funny. I haven't been seeing the Wheel of Fortune coming out a lot, but it makes a lot of sense that in terms of in terms of the reading that we're seeing. You know, it speaks a lot towards the understanding of, I keep on hearing misery is miserly, is what I keep on hearing. Misery is miserly. It's why they have the same root term, which is when we're feeling, often when we feel misery, it's the space by which we're experiencing something solely from the perception of the self, instead of understanding that our understanding of self expands to those around us. So I feel like there's something really important that's, and it's interesting that as soon as I started reading into the energy that was in separation, I keep on hearing misery is miserly, because I keep on seeing this is why the energy is having such a hard time opening up to each other, because they're healing from another person's projections, where it feels like I keep on hearing no good deed goes unpunished. It felt like anything they tried to do, another person saw fault in or saw wrong in, right? It's the observation of sometimes identifying the point of another's projection by which another person is seeing things there that are not there, right? And I keep on hearing you can't, like, this is why I keep on seeing that the energy is trying to, I feel like this is the energy that in a way is trying to be as authentic as possible in terms of building into the relationship that they're moving towards. But I even feel like even in the space, and I told you, there's a little bit about these relationships that, you know, they're not, I keep on hearing, they're not denying the fact that there's a part of them that's really upset, you know? Like, I keep on seeing that there's something about those relationships that they're articulating the space of not feeling the need to have to be nice all the time. Because I keep on hearing it's not about being nice, it's about being authentic. And that's why I keep on seeing that if these energies were in some kind of relationship in the past where they were masking their own irateness upon things, I keep on seeing that like, even in the space by which I keep on hearing they're working towards being more open upon their feeling, because it's the same message I keep on getting, which is like, when we are in the right place, our anger protects us as well as our kindness, which is when we're upset about something and we're in alignment, another person is also upset about it. Is what I keep on hearing. Like, there's room for that too, right? It's like, do you want to talk about it? It's like I keep on hearing like the yes, even in relationality to the energetic frustration upon something. And so that's why I keep on seeing that this energy is feeling that energetic relief, because I keep on seeing every time that they press, I keep on hearing every time that they press forward to one another in communicating something that they're energetically passionate about, they're meeting passion with passion, right? Which is not even the space, I keep on hearing, it's not even the space that they necessarily agree upon everything, but the space by which they recognize that there's a constructive place to be able to talk about it. I even get like, I keep on getting this energy has almost got like a little bit of friendly bickering there too, right? I keep on hearing a healthy relationship leaves room for healthy bickering, which is the space by which another person, like, I keep on hearing like, doesn't feel, I keep on hearing doesn't feel like bickering breaks things, but I keep on hearing bickering can add, like, bickering fortifies things in the space by which you are able to, like, again, working towards humility, which is the working towards understanding something in a different fashion. When we're in a space of humility, we celebrate bickering, because bickering is the space by which we could come to learn something new, right? Is what I keep on hearing. So that's why I keep on hearing, it's funny because I keep on hearing bicker and better, which is them saying like they like to bicker because they recognize that in their bickering, they become better. Continuing to get clarification for those temperance relationships between our 3 of Cups in its reversal, and it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that bicker is better makes a lot of sense with Mercury and Mars being in Sag. 3 of Pentacles in its reversal, our 10 of Pentacles. 3 of Cups in its reversal. It's funny that turned into Pentacles. 10 of Cups in its upright, and our Lovers card. We've got here the 7 of Pentacles in its reversal. So the one thing that we're seeing here that is very interesting and intriguing, specifically, I keep on getting, specifically for these temperance relationships, has to do with, this is more of the continuation of what I saw, which is don't confuse kindness for weakness, right? Like, I keep on hearing this energy saying, don't confuse the fact I'm not doing something about something related to the fact that I don't care. Like, this is the energy that says, like, it's funny because I keep on hearing like, they're working on the present, but also don't you dare, because that's also like the sound of building sanctuary, because sanctuary, I keep on getting sanctuary doesn't, that's also what we talk about, like sanctuary. We often get, don't mistake kindness for weakness when we're reading into sanctuary, because it's the understanding that like the way you create a sanctified space is not by allowing anything. It's the observation of what is and is not acceptable. And so even in the space by which I see the fact that they're articulating upon the sanctity of something, I keep on seeing that these are the relationships that are articulating upon how much something means, right? They're releasing it through the conversation, and they're articulating upon, I keep on seeing like the space by which they say, like they're working on creating a present by which another person doesn't have to go through something again. Like, that's what I meant about the energy that says, I care about you, but don't you dare. Because it's the energy that says the reason that they're not taking activation on something is not due to the fact that they don't want to, but because they're holding the sanctity of the peace that counterpart has created for themselves as priority. But that also means, like, you know what I mean? Like, that also means that if someone tries to test that piece, like they're going to be in for a rude awakening, is what I keep on getting. Animal, final card for today's spread, for the final card for the today's spread in reading into the magician relationships between our Wheel of Fortune in its upright and the 7 of Pentacles in its reversal. Woo! We got the 5 of Pentacles in its reversal. I like that. That makes sense when I said why. That's why I said, why are the cups turning into pentacles? That's what I meant with why are the cups turning into pentacles? Because I keep on seeing that for those relationships, the magician relationships that are deep within divine union, right? I feel like I keep on seeing like deep within divine union. How do I describe this? They're also, and it's in, you know, it's funny too, because I was articulating this in the last reading. both Temperance and Magician relationships are utilizing the word leave it alone in different ways. Leave it alone for Temperance is saying, I'm leaving it alone. Not because they want to, because they're doing so for counterpart. I'm leaving it alone. I'm not touching it, but I would like to, is what I keep on getting. Right? They're not going to start something. I keep on seeing. But I keep on hearing they're not going to start something, but they're eager to finish it, is what I keep on hearing. That's what the Temperance relationships are communicating to someone. They're not going to start something, but they're eager to finish it. That's what I keep on hearing. But for the energy, which is why, that's what I mean. It's but for the energy that is deep within divine union, it's the Saturn lesson on leaving it alone. Which is they are seeing something outside of relationship that's absolutely ridiculous. They understand exactly what's happening. They're willing to have a healthy conversation, but they can't force a healthy conversation. And I keep on hearing the energy, that's how they're blessing. I keep on hearing that's how they're blessing a ridiculous a situation. They're blessing a ridiculous situation by which they're saying if that person ever wants to have a healthy conversation about it, they're available for it, but they're not going to force it. Is what I keep on seeing. That is the energy. That is them. And that is them also doing the work and checking their own heart space. Because I keep on seeing that the energy is, again, eager to have a conversation with someone, but they can't force, I keep on hearing they can't force a healthy conversation, which is the space by which if they've asked somebody what's going on and another person isn't in the space by which they can articulate it, this is the energy that says they can't force them to have a healthy conversation about their feelings. Bottom of the deck on today's read, boom, we've got here the Page of Cups. Now the thing about it, and here's the thing, I got to tell you right now, I know you're not going to like me saying this, not all feelings are alike. And I'm just going to tell you right now, okay, we got Mercury in retrograde in Sag, all right? We got Mercury in retrograde in Sag, and we've also got a Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, right? Might feel real good to say something about something, right? Working through, I keep on hearing, working through when we're feeling sad about things, it can be very easy to want to project that sadness out to those around us, right? It feels like a burden that's lifted, right? It's so much easier to try to move that off of the self. But that's why I keep on seeing that the ability to, and the way we can usually fortify upon the feelings that we're working to resolve around the self versus, I keep on hearing, reaffirming or relearning, is the observation of effectively understanding that the feelings that are sensible are the feelings that can have productive action around them, right? The feeling by which we say, if you do this differently, I will no longer feel this way. And this is often how sometimes we recognize that we need to get support upon things. When we have a feeling and we say that there's nothing that we can imagine happening that would change the way we feel like that, that is often the amplification of a distress call within the self that we need to get navigated, we need to get support for. And it's okay to get support for things like that, right? It's the identification point of recognizing where the vulnerability lies. And the vulnerability is often articulated or amplified with recognizing what the work is to be done around it. So, I think that if you're working through a lot of the emotionality that may come up with periods like this, because again, when we've got Neptune in Pisces on top of Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, on top of a lot of everything retrograding, it becomes really easy to over internalize solitude and further to feel like that solitude is something that is only happening to the self. If you're feeling like this right now, I'm here to tell you that's an energetic illusion. That is an energetic illusion that is being created by a volume of planets that are in retrograde. I don't want you to feel like something is directed entirely towards the self. And if you're feeling like that, I want you to extend out to others. I want you to communicate how you're feeling, to navigate through energy like this. Because I got to tell you, when we're going through prolonged retrograde periods, the best way I can articulate it is it feels awful quiet in here. right? But that ability of working through the pathwork of solitude and not allowing it to let you feel alienated or isolated, but to understand that that is the nature of the energy, this is what's going to help you kind of move through this period right now. Okay, you're not alone if you're feeling like that. We are all feeling like that. But if you, I'm telling you right now, if you over internalize that and start projecting it onto others, it's probably going to make the isolation feel worse. Okay, like, don't project the feeling of isolation on others right now, because that will actually make the isolation like occur. So make sure that you're recognizing that everybody's feeling like this. Create that sense of compassion and allow that compassion to guide you. And if you're feeling confused in this energy, make sure that you're focusing on your purpose, perseverance, helping us get through this very heavy retrograde cycle. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to book that reading. Also, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone who participated in our recent class on the moon card. Our next class is going to be held on Thursday, November 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a study on the sun card. And if you would like to become part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. It's not necessary to catch up. I do my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning the next class, but the materials are there for you to receive. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive the full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. That is access to over 20 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding program. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your impact, working towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. Definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events and my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages for those who are seeking a more continuous education routine experience connecting to your own life path. Those can also be purchased again on a monthly basis and again at a discounted rate. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again